if I can get my stuff going again. It's very, very. All right, let's try this again. Let's try this again and see if it works. Let's try it again and see if it works. Let's go. Let's try it. All right, perfect. I think I'm getting audio. I'm getting audio now. All right. What's up, yo? Share the link for me. I'm having some issues. I've been having some issues with this stuff, right? But there's something that I want to discuss tonight. So if you can share the link for me, we'll get it done. I really, really want to see how best we can have a conversation about Liberia, have a conversation. So I was trying to get this on my Restream account. And for some weird reason, I mistakenly went through, I went through my, what's the thing called? I mistakenly went through my Facebook app instead of my Restream account, right? So I was having some issues, but that's okay. So, what's up, Quincy? What's going on with you? Hope you're good there, my brother. You know, hope you're doing great, Quincy. I appreciate it. Right? Share the link for me. Share this. Let's go ahead and put it here. So I won't be here for long, but I wanted to talk a little bit. Talk about something very important today, and hopefully, so if you're following Sheriff for Maine, Quincy, what's up? Quincy is always supportive of me, though. Quincy always show up, and I really do appreciate him for all of the stuff that he does to you know to show up. Now let me fix my camera so I can. Okay, so it's not picking up mine. Okay, that's fine. I'll go ahead and just use my FaceTime camera. All right, perfect. Appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it. Okay, so look, I wanted to do a long stuff today, and okay, so my YouTube channel is connected. They appreciate it. So I wanted to do a long, stuff tonight, but because I had all of the little technical delays and stuff, so I'm just gonna, do what I can do. That's the gist of it. Anyways, so where do I start from? Before I start, just share the link for me. Let's start from there. Let's go and share the link, and let me get a few people on, and then we can start talking. Right, Emric, what's up, man? What's going on? What's going on with you, Emric? What is going on with you? What's going on? What is going on? Go ahead and share the link for me. And I'll be back up here shortly. Share. All right. Okie dokie dokie. All right. So I haven't been, consistently on Facebook Live. And part of the reason why is because I've been occupied with a lot of personal stuff, development stuff, right? I was, I was, hold on one second. I was, focused on doing some things that, I needed for self development. So that's good. Personal career, personal stuff, and stuff. And grad work is hectic, right? And trying to nail that down. down to was Miata, what's up, my sister? A long time. You threw your brother away, but that's good. Grad work is a little bit hectic, but that's okay. Life happens, right? And we do what we can do. But anyway, I'm fine. So, um, yes, the main reason why I decided to do this live today, and it is very important that we continue to have conversations about these issues. And the reason why we should, because it brings clarity from both ends, right? A lot of you have seen me on Facebook, social media. A lot of you know that I've been very passionate about Liberia. And some of you have been passionate about Liberia. Liberia for us is not just talking, right? Not only talking, but taking our resources and going to Liberia, or showing up to pro-Liberian events, or to United Nation, whatever it is, Liberian embassy, to be able to speak on behalf of the country, especially when our people are going through stuff. A few days ago, during the inauguration ceremony, now as of the George Weah administration, I have not really been into the Independence Day celebration. But this year, I wasn't into the Independence Day celebration as well. But however, I think there was something that happened this year that's gotten the attention of a lot of us, right? And we've been responding to so many things about what occurred recently. All right. So, but there's been other people who have taken this thing a little further, because they were either feminists. And I've always told people that, look, I respect women. I think that I do believe that women's got a very important role to play in society. I do believe that women should be leaders. That's why I support somebody like Kamala Harris, right? And there's been other women candidates in Liberia that I've been supportive of too. They may not have they don't know me, but there's people who've been in the camp that have reached out to us for contribution to support the campaign, and we've done that on the back end. Nobody knows these people. Sometimes you hear them talking and this that you just laugh and whatever it is, right? But we do this because we think that in the case of Liberia, we need more females, right? And I was really into the Ellen presidency because I do think I did believe at that time that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has something to offer Liberia, right? So this has nothing to do with women being able to express themselves. It has nothing to say that, oh, dude seems like the kind of person would. No, that's not me, right? And I think it has more to do with everything that I'm going to say. So let me move from this mild manner personality to the most vicious one that I want to adopt to talk about this particular issue. No, the remote's over there. It should be on that side, right? Let me wear that hat and go into that part of it. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So for somebody like me, let me just address this notion. There's some group of Liberians who think that they know it all. Some of them think that they understand the woke agenda or the so-called black agenda more than other people, right? And because of that, these people, have I been knocked off Facebook? What am I getting? Let me see. Which channels are required? Reconnect. The Facebook channel is disconnected. Was I disconnected? Or Facebook? I think. Am I still? All right. Let me see here if my stream is still up, because Restream is texting me. Lord. Okay, I think I'm still on. Because Restream is texting me. All right, thank you, Quincy. I appreciate it. Sorry, because I got an email here from Restream saying that I was real. I haven't really done live recently on my systems, and so you can see a lot of things fall on the pot because I've reset everything. I've switched to different internet service. All of my stuff's just all over the place, but I have to do this live today. So you're bear with me. I'm coming to the real good part. You know me already. All right. So, anyways, there are some Liberians who think that they understand the so-called woke agenda, the black agenda more than others, right? And I've also noticed that on social media, a lot of people try to show themselves, right? They try to act up. They try to present themselves as if they are the authors of discussion. They're the only ones who can comprehend things, right? Or when you're side on issues, there's respect there. But there, when they're different, when there is or there are different opinions on a specific topic, then it goes into the point where we're not, oh, they can't comprehend. Let me say this first and foremost. Let me tell somebody. I spent 95% of my day dealing with millionaires, dealing with doctors, dealing with lawyers, dealing with MBAs, dealing with nurses, dealing with a wide range of people, right? And during that particular moment, right? All of those people rely on this comprehension, understanding to be able to make a decision, right? So some of the things that I say, or majority of the things that I say, right, that they have to implement are based on regulations, they're based on data, they're based on nights of research, making sure that I've actually done my due diligence, right, to be able to say, right, the things that are necessary for those people, to implement. So you've got to have the mind to be able to do what I do. You've got to have the ability to comprehend to be able to do what I do, right? I've worked in the finance industry for more than 17 years, all levels. I've dealt with different scenarios. I've been part of black organizations, the NAACP, a lot of different groups. All right. I'm an educated person. Mhm. I've been able to write research on companies. I've been able to do analysis on companies. I've been able to do some real detailed write ups for important organizations, right? And processes, those key components that are required to be able to make decisions per federal regulations, in accordance to, regulations, right? And the only reason why I'm saying this is that we come and interact on Facebook. Some of us, I don't put myself, actually, when my old page got deleted on Facebook, I stopped putting a lot of my personal life on social media. So you see a lot of jokes. I don't have the remote. You can check over there. It's probably on it, but use the sound system. Just minus. If you look on the top, you see the LCD screen. Just click minus or reduce the noise. Thank you. I don't post my personal stuff on Facebook, right? The only thing you will see of me, I will talk a lot of politics. I'll post one or two pictures in here, but if you really pay attention to me, I don't put my personal life on Facebook like that. You may be opportune to see a little bit of stuff, but that's just who I am, right? But we come from different school of thoughts or different disciplines, hmm? Different discipline, right? So I also, on the side work as a venture capitalist, right? Due diligence. So what I do is I research companies, startups that are looking to seek money, millions, 100, 3,000, 400,000 and stuff from my firm. My job is to look at the business model, look at the technology, look at all of the things, the financials and stuff, read through it, do my own research, come back and write a detailed report and submit it to see if that particular company has passed that due diligence phase to be able to be considered for whatever funding that they need, right? And so part of that work, I've been blessed to interact with some brilliant Liberians who work in the medical field. Like one time I had a situation wherein I had to reach out to a close friend of my brother, and so this way we call her on social media, right? This is a smart Liberian lady and stuff who's in the medical side that I reached to inquire. My friend, a brother, also who's in the medical side, I've reached to people with doctors to inquire, right? Because I had to do something. I had to do complete this research, and it had to be inclusive of, of things that I believe, are fair to these companies, right? And to better understand, so when I go in that due diligence meeting, to be able to probe and ask the right question. The reason why I say this, all of us come from different backgrounds. Whatever career path you chose, that's your area of specialty, right? That's your area of expertise. You get to deal with it. You get to do it. You excel in it and stuff, right? And so you have a different kind of familiarity with the work that you do. But it's kind of stupid that some of you Liberians think that education or success or brilliance has to do with only going to get a stupid PhD, or maybe me going to, acquire a master's degree or a bachelor. There's just this kind of foolishness in our community. And this explains why Liberia hasn't taken flight, because we're so stuck in this make-believe system that's got no value. We talk foolishly. We don't know people. We're shown, right? Or we make assumption that because somebody has a PhD, that means the more knowledgeable. No, that's not the case. I can set somebody with a PhD here, and I can throw around financial terms. They wouldn't even know that shit. The same way, whatever they have, they have their area expertise in. If they're talking, I may not be inclined to that. But you see, though, both of us have a different way, right, of processing things, right, in a different way. It doesn't mean that they're here and that. Come on, let's stop acting as if this is the gold standard. Stop this shit. Only in Liberia, you see that shit. Only in Liberia. It is only in Liberia wherein we've actually set this imaginary standard, and we think that success means that when somebody gets a damn PhD, that means it's the Lord of the land, and that's not the damn case. There are people who make more than six figures, 250,000, 150,000, millions of dollars and stuff. Don't even have a PhD. I know brokers who will make probably $300,000 this year. We're more than PhD holders. We're more than the medical doctors. It's pretty easy. I know people who will sit down here and this month will probably rack up about $60,000, $75,000 and stuff. Gross, not net taxes, even more than a PhD holder. And they're smart people. I know Liberians. I know people who are in the high hierarchy of firms who have trillions of dollars of assets under management. Those are brilliant people. Whatever path that you choose in your personal life, that's your damn business. But you don't get to set the standard of intelligence, right? Or don't get to tell people that because somebody's got a PhD, that they're smarter. Look, I've been fortunate to have people in my family who's got PhDs. I've been fortunate to have clients who have PhDs, right? I've been fortunate to have sister-in-laws who have PhDs. Absolutely. Mm. And one of them I just text in the back and stuff, and we just laugh. We've been laughing at the commentary of everything else. And a brilliant actually work with the NIH. A brilliant Liberian. Let me tell you, a Liberian who worked with the NIH, moved from there and went and took over the entire process of one of the largest diagnostics firm in North America. You don't see people like her running around social media and talking. Those are brilliant Liberians. There are brilliant Liberian doctors here that you wouldn't see. The other Liberians who have PhD and do research work on the high level for top companies, you won't see them running around here and stuff. But guess what? The mutual respect is there for different areas. You see, educated people have to understand, right? The thing here is the education component of things, right? By default, it allows you to be able to develop this mutual respect, right? When it comes to intellectualism, right? That we respect everybody. We have a conversation and we respect the expertise of every individual because all of us can learn from one another. But you're so brainwashed into thinking that because somebody's got a PhD, that come on, let's stop it. And you put some of the people with a PhD across from other people and stuff, they can't even express themselves, they hold their own. That's another conversation we're going into. But for some reason, our people have set this weird standard, which is absolutely stupid. And I think, you know, it is one of the reasons why. And you see, let me tell you this, because we have actually elevated that level of foolishness. Notice, we keep asking ourselves, why is Liberia not moving forward or actually excelling when we claim to have all of the education? My point here is because we have put people at a pedestal just because they went in classroom and got a degree, and we don't bring those people in the system based upon performance. Because remember now, you can get all the degrees you want. If you don't perform, you're not moving anywhere. Why do you think that some Liberians, yes, they got PhD and stuff, but the woman in Liberia looking for a job, you want to like, but this person has a PhD. Why are they in Liberia? Because in America, it has to do with performance metric. You get a PhD, you start as at an entry level research. You got to work your way up. But there's this notion that when you go and get it, you automatically come in and you saw King Kong in Liberia. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you'll be working in an organization, you have a master's degree, but the person who's over you probably's got a bachelor's, but they're your boss. You listen to them, you follow the blueprint of the company, move. The difference between you and that person because they have the experience, right? And you listening to them to guide you to help build your career. That's why this society is different. That's why this society is absolutely, and you see, people respect their place in this society. That's why America is a different kind of country. In the case of Liberia, it is all over the damn place. We are the only people who just think that, oh, that person got every, oh, that person. Come on, y'all stop this nonsense. It doesn't mean shit. It's good for you and your family. You claim it, celebrate it. That's up to you, good. But outside of that, PhD performance is what matters. I wanted to touch that part. Now, let me start going into the key component. So one of the things that I've been blessed with is this ability to be well-rounded, right? And let me say this, I've been one of the strongest advocates for equality. I've always believed in, Black people excelling. But over the years, it didn't take me long to realize that we've got to start thinking different. And my people, let me tell you this. This is the beauty of education. This is the beauty of logic. This is the beauty of reasoning. That we shouldn't be programmed to think that things has to happen one way, or that automatically we need to build this resentment to the things that we believe have been troubling us in the past, right? And it has to be that module. All of us need to operate in this thing that we're Black people, we're African, these people did this, so we need to respond this way. I don't think it has to be that way. And that's why critical thinking is very important. In America, critical thinking is essential. Outside of the classroom, on the jobs, critical thinking is very important. It's very vital. Very important. And I said over the years, there is something fundamentally wrong with Africans and Liberians, Black people in general. But the way in which we have actually put our mind in a state that is so stagnant, that is so moduled based on this one way of proceeding, that we no longer see the essence of modifying our thought process and reforming things along the way. Let me repeat myself. We have been so trapped in this stagnant way of thinking, in this one way of thinking, that we no longer see value in being able to modify our approach in dealing with the situations that we faced in the past and the ones that we're dealing with. And if you follow me a long time, you will see I have been one of the harshest critics of Pan-Africanism. I have been the harshest critics of that kind of ideology. The neo-colonial rhetorics, I have been one of the harshest critics of it. This is the reason why I don't subscribe to people like Dr. Omar. Yes, my people, look, as a young man, I lived in one of the oldest black states in America, Baltimore. Went to school in the black community in the projects. I understand what black people go through. I understand as an immigrant what I went through. Let me tell you my personal experience. First year of college in Maryland and stuff, there's a certain college that I went to, and I had a friend called Tom, very good family friend. They would drop into school and stuff and whatever it is. Tom was into swimming. There was a part of the college campus that were for those athletes, but certain kind of athletes that would go there, they would gather. This day, got off class, stayed a little longer because of studying whatever it is. And Tom usually wait for me and still take me. So I couldn't get in touch with him. Finally, I went. I said, okay, well, let's go to this site to be able to find him. And I walked on there, and immediately it felt like you don't belong here. Absolutely. And that thing created a big problem. Even my friend Tom took offense to it. There was a whole situation I went out with the head of that particular department and some of the things that we experienced. And all of us, we work in corporate America. I've been working in corporate America for a long time. We don't say this in more than 17 years. We have worked hard to build careers, and we know how it has been difficult to move along the way. And I will say something. I'm going into a point. I want all of you to listen to a certain thing, because this is the basis of my argument, and the reason why we continue to have people who just don't get it. We know the challenges we face, and the challenges that we face is not only based upon people that don't look like us. Those challenges we're facing are from people who look like us. Stay with me. Those challenges we're facing are from people who look like us. If you are of an African descent immigrant, there's a way in which that you're treated by your own people here. And some of you know these things. They don't want you to excel. They don't want you to move in a different direction. The networks are only built for their own personal interest. What's the problem? That you have a black diversity organization at a corporation, but when you're going after top tier promotion, you only notice that only certain people are getting the connection. You might get the interview, but this guy and buddy, they're going. And you're looking at, but I thought we're supposed to be united and we're supposed to look out for each other. Nah. That unity, that looking out for each other only fits certain things. Y'all stay with me though. So now, the people who are accusing other people of being discriminatory and preaching about neo-colonialism and all of the ideologies, then they start pushing segregation between people who look like them. You'll get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, we face this thing. Let's come back in our own Liberian community. How many times have you heard that for young women to get jobs in our country, their own people, if you can't sleep with them, they can't give you a job? If you're not part of a certain tribal group, you're not getting a job. A lot of the appointments in Liberia are based upon who know you. Are you part of this tribal group? We got to look out for our own people. Yes, it is happening in Liberia today. Some of you saw what happened to Alexander Cummings during the election. The same people who are talking about the impact of America, the negative impact of America, or people from the West and neo-colonialism. These were the same people that were telling people like you in the diaspora that you don't belong. But people, let's think differently. Think about it. I don't subscribe to the one-way doctrine. I like to be a radical in challenging system, people, ideas, and logic. Meet me anywhere and we will discuss it. I want you to listen. The same people who say that America is using neo-colonialism to oppress Liberia and other African countries are the same one who told people like you in the diaspora that you don't belong. These were the same people that were paid to come and attack the dual citizenship bill. How often have you been on social media and they tell you like, y'all go back to America? We don't want know about people about it from America and Liberia from America coming to be part in our government. Let's give it to our people on the ground. How many times have you heard the divisive rhetorics of Native and Congo? Think about it. So we are so upset about the so-called oppression. We're so upset about colonial rules. We are claiming that Liberia is in the state because of what the West did to Liberia. But yet and still, we are the ones being discriminatory against other Liberians. You see the problem there? And this has been the doctrine of Pan-Africanism, the woke agenda that's been distorted, and a lot of those negative rhetorics that have been pushed. And I've said that, look, as people of color, Africans, whatever it is, that for us to be able to take on these new challenges, for us to be able to solve some of the issues that we've blamed other people for, we've got to adapt a modified approach with facing some of these challenges. Hence, we cannot continue to use the same neo-colonial rhetorics that we've used in the past. We cannot continue to use extremism as a way to solve some of the issues that we think that we're faced with. We cannot continue to push an agenda that is so bad, that is so horrible, that the only thing we see is color lines, right? We can't do that. And you will talk about the Thomas Sankara and all of these people. They misinterpret the fight of these people to think that it's based upon radicalism. Black emancipation and liberation cannot be about the brutal and nasty rhetorics of neocolonialism and looking at other people and saying that they are responsible and not taking ownership of our problems. And I think we have been caught up in this web of illusion, this whole blame game of neocolonialism, and we've forgotten that the game is not about blaming, but it's about seeing how we can look at the advancements that we've made and use those advancements as opportunity to be able to take apart a system of Jim Crow. This has been our argument. So when you go on a pulpit or when you are given a platform and the only thing you see is to bring out those old nasty, filthy rhetorics and divisive conversation, it does not make your cause good. It does not make you strong. It does not add value to this quest towards liberation. And it is proven because if we can be honest, if we can be truthful, where have we gone as a group of people, Africans, whatever it is? How have we evolved by using those nasty, filthy kind of rhetorics? We've gone nowhere. The only thing we've done is continue to blame everybody else. Decades later, after using the same filth, nasty, filthy, dirty rhetorics, we're still stuck. So it leads me to my point. If we have been so vocal about our so-called fight against neocolonialism or colonial rules, as we call it, our so-called fight where we felt that we have been violated by other people, and this has been the thing that we've championed, then let's be honest with ourselves. Is it working? Have we experienced any level of success? We definitely have not experienced anything in terms of success when it comes to that particular pattern. It is the fact, right? There's no success, there's no progress. All these years, all the time that we've used all of these excuses and blame other people for where we are today, what gains have we made since we're so knowledgeable And somebody says it's good to shame your oppressors. Shame your oppressors. How can you claim? How can you claim that when you're sitting today and reaping the benefits of the same people that you're being critical of? How can you say that these people are responsible for all of the problems, but you sit in the confines of your luxury home in the West? The same people today who buy or subscribe to those doctrines will tell you, I'm not wasting my money in Liberia. That country ain't serious yet. But then today they want to come and tell you, say, oh, let's blame these people as an excuse. We want to address this situation of oppression as we claim. But we don't want to take accountability for how we have created the problems that we face today. For instance, let's look at Firestone. Let's agree when the initial agreement for Firestone was signed, that America was in a better position. The American companies were in a better position to negotiate because they were educated. They had people. And those who initially arranged that particular, made that arrangement, were not as sophisticated. And so they got, a penny for the dollar on the dollar. But you see it everywhere. So if we knew that we didn't get a fair share of Firestone, what did we do to put ourselves in the position to renegotiate? Well, we went back and negotiated the Firestone deal. But forget Firestone. Let's look at the mining concession deals. Even the ones that America is not part of. Let's look at Bummy Hills. Who negotiated the Western Cluster deal? Those were Liberians, your lawmakers. You blame America for that deal? You blame the United States? Your lawmakers arranged, negotiated the Western Cluster deal. What did it do? The country-owned people got penny on the dollars. The lawmakers got the back office checks, built luxury mansions in Bummy Hills, bought expensive cars, became multi-millionaires from all these bad deals. But you, the ordinary people, will sit on the stands and say that this is the issue, this is the responsibility of colonial rulers. We defer, we transfer our aggression on other people, and we refuse to see the main people who are creating the problems for us in that country. We use the bullshit excuse of Pan-Africanism and the woke agenda and the so-called neocolonialism to be able to sell ourselves as if we're so brilliant, we understand. We defer all of these things. We forget to look at the main issues. Put Firestone aside and look at all of the negotiations that's been done in that country. Who did it? Was it the Americans? No, it was your same damn lawmakers. That young lady got her ticket to Liberia to serve as orator, was paid for the government of Liberia. Yes. Compensated by the government of Liberia from monies that was given to it by the United States as budgetary support. And so we will collect the checks and sit there and then get come and say, we blame colonial rulers for Liberia's problem. We will go and get paid by senators and lawmakers and come to the diaspora and attack other Liberians who are pushing dual citizenship. We will write articles, we'll write reports, and we will beat down on dual citizenship. We will say all of the negative things. We'll look at other people who are Liberians and say they are not Liberians, but yet and still, we wouldn't be accountable for the divisive rhetorics that we push. We will sit on the stands and say, let's blame America. That young lady has been so nasty, so divisive. She openly attacked the dual citizenship bill. Majority of her writings when it comes to equality, when it comes to dual citizenship, has been so divisive. Do you really think that the woke agenda or Pan-Africanism or this whole liberation of Black liberation and emancipation, do you think that messaging was about looking at other people and telling them that they're not Liberians? Do you really think so? This is the hypocrisy we're talking about. That you want Liberia to adopt whatever language so it can create this independent identity, but you're on a stance and on the microphone talking and imitating the accent of Americans. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? And this is the thing that y'all want us to subscribe to. These are the things that we should be supportive of. These are the things that we should all jump on board and say, oh, yeah, she's right, and this, and sing hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. And then when people disagree, you say, oh, they don't know how to comprehend. Like, you know how to comprehend. Y'all accuse people of lacking comprehension and stuff. Y'all don't even know how to comprehend. Because if you had any common sense, or if you could damn well comprehend, you will start thinking, but why would somebody say we need a unique language as an independent identifier, but they're addressing us using the same language of the people that they've been critical of? What do you want to talk about imperialism when you're drinking from the fountains of imperialism? Your salary is getting paid by imperialists. You're living well in the UK, the United Kingdom, the hub of imperialism, and we're supposed to buy into that bullshit? This is where you want us to go? That's not hypocrisy. We should defer or transfer our aggression on America, but ignore the fact that we have been part of the problem. Yes, these are the things that you want us to do. The dishonesty in our message, the dishonesty in our actions, the foolery that we've engaged in. We said that we destroy our country, we blame. And you know, some of you, it doesn't take rocket science. You have experienced it. You spend your hard-earned money on young people in Liberia that they're never appreciative. They will be the first one looking at you and saying all of the nasty stuff towards you. Nothing you do is good enough. Our people are unappreciative. They will always find a way to be condescending to you. Don't you think it's the same behaviors that they're transferring to other people? We don't want to take accountability. We don't want to blame ourselves for the errors that we made. We think it's always somebody else's fault. It's never our fault. We're never responsible. Somebody else is to be blamed. We don't want to accept our role in destroying our country and the waste that we've created over the years. We want to blame other people. We go to the polling station and we vote for the same corrupt leaders, but we want to blame other people. We have a good man in Alexander Cummings that come and give you a platform and do everything that somebody should do. The same people who say they believe into the so-called woke agenda, those so much anti-colonials, will sit there and look at a man of Cummings and say he's not Liberian. The people don't know him. But these are the people that will stand on the pulpit today or on as orators and tell you that you should frown on America. And we're supposed to buy that? That's not hypocrisy to the max. The same people who came and said people like you in the diaspora are not Liberians, should not partake in the leadership in that country. The divisive rhetorics that they've pushed day in and day out, pushed day in and day out. They don't see that. They only see the other side. You see where I'm going with this? This is the reason why we have not progressed as a group of people, Black people, Africans, Liberians, because the way in which we think, we hate oppression, but we use the same oppressive tendencies to discriminate against one another. Oppression is only a convenient war when it fits into our agenda to shift blames on other people. But when we are doing it, we see nothing wrong with it. Case in point. Case in point. You will say America's benefited more from Liberia. But you will see the lawmakers who pay for your ticket to come to Liberia to preach or serve as an orator. And you wouldn't say shit about that or live in your little pretense. The weight should be, the burden should be the sole responsibility of other countries and not you. This is the misguided thought process that we have in our country. And the reason why we'll continue to be a shithole country for a long time. And I keep saying this. You're not going anywhere with that kind of belief. You're not going anywhere with that kind of thought process. This is the flatness of blackism, or Liberianism, or mere hypocrisy. Stupid people running in circles and trying to sell something that's totally true. Now, let me tell you something. Raising your fist and showing the so-called Black Power sign has nothing to do with that mess that you did on the stage. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And other people want to say nonsense around here, run your mouth and say all kinds of foolishness. And when you talk, oh, you're pro-US and this, that, the rest of it. Some of you got audacity to talk about pro-US in America, this, that, the rest of it. When y'all were running around to the US embassy and praying every day that y'all can get visa, y'all didn't see colonial rulers. Y'all didn't see colonial rulers. When y'all were running around and ducking bullets and trying to get visas to come to America, y'all didn't see colonial rulers. Y'all didn't see it. When you're benefiting, you see nothing wrong with it. When you go and wear your polos and you go on the golf course and you're taking shots with those people, you see nothing wrong with it. You only think it is a problem when something doesn't benefit you, but then it becomes convenient when it benefits you. This is the level of hypocrisy we're speaking against. This whole idea of engaging in this so-called empty fight of attacking people because we think they are colonials needs to be erased. This is a new generation. This generation of leaders should be focused on using a different approach to counter some of the issues that we face, the economic challenges, and even some of the things that we consider questionable practices. If we're educated enough, we're supposed to use wisdom to tackle these issues. Not the same hate. Hate, you don't use hate to drive out hate. You don't use radicalism to drive out oppression. You don't become the same thing that you criticize in other and think that's a solution. This is why Pan-Africanism has not translated into the new generation, or it hasn't been bought by majority of Africans who have sense. And so there's a limited scope where we find few people pushing that. Pan-Africanism is actually fading because it has been watered down. It has been tempered with by people who have a total radical agenda that is a turn off. That kind of rhetorics, those kind of woke agenda, the so-called neo-colonial talk, those nonsense does not fit into this day and age. And especially if you're looking for a wider message that appeals to different kind of people. Those kind of nasty rhetorics does not get the attention of smart black young people who want to do things different. You're not going anywhere to push your damn agenda if the only thing you want to be is to see negatives that you criticize in people. And pretty soon, if you're not careful, the fights of the Nkrumah, the Marcus Garvey will fade away because you will have actually refused to modify your approach. And instead of being smarter, we have become dummies in this fight against the so-called oppression that you claim. And Dr. King said it. Martin Luther King did not lose his life so that the dream of equality should turn into this radical agenda by few selfish individuals who have bought into communism. Rosa Parks did not partake in the Montgomery bus boycott because they wanted this freedom for Black people to become a watered down ideology in 2024. Stevie Biko, the likes of Stevie Biko, and a lot of these champions of African reform did not move this far because they wanted us to continue the same stupid approach. And I'm telling you, if those people had the chance today, they would have said that we would have done things differently. If Sankara had the chance today, Sankara would have actually done things different. We cannot do or use the same template of the past that has gotten us nowhere. Standing on a stage as an orator and being insulting to your biggest ally is not a strategy for reform. It is not a sensible way to deal with your concerns. You're playing a game that's only going to backfire. And let me tell you something. Some of y'all act like y'all don't pay attention. Those who have dared to use that nasty way, we know what history says. We can't continue to be that way. We can't continue to use those stupid approach. You're not winning anybody over with that way of thinking, and you'll be stuck. And one of the worst form of hypocrisy is this. You want to talk about what the United States is taking, but some of you went to Liberia and got government jobs because your parents were connected to some of these stupid people. In your capacity or whatever role you serve, you took monies from there, you came and bought properties in the United States. So you exploited your people to get the wealth that you're enjoying now. But you will sit on social media to talk about being woke, to talk about colonial rulers, to talk about oppression. You see the hypocrisy, my people? The people who have exploited their own people are the ones that are telling you that you should blame other people. But they don't take accountability. They have not taken accountability for what they've done to destroy their own country. But they want you to believe that somebody else is responsible. How long have we been blaming America? I'm not going to get in the fight, in anybody's fight, because this is what some of our leaders are to be blamed. Let's look at Samuel Doe, for instance. Let's look at many of our African leaders. When they have issues with other political establishments in their country, they come out and they go make alliance with other countries. They make a deal with these people. And so when they use the people and they finish getting the aims and objective accomplished, then they want to preach sovereignty. And in the process, they get caught up in it. And then they want to drag an entire nation into the fight. No, don't drag us in your fight. Joe had no problem with the United States when he felt that they were going to be supportive of whatever agenda that he wanted to carry it on. When Joe got that accomplished and he felt that he had power, he saw things in another way. And when it couldn't go the way that he wanted it to go, he thought that dragging the Liberian people in his political rhetorics was the smartest thing to do. This is what they do. You go and you use these people. You say these so-called people the people you call neo-colonial rulers, they're bad. But you leave your country and you negotiate, you make deals with them. You come and oppress your people. You do all of the nonsense. And when you fall out of favor, you want to drag us into your mess. Don't put us into your mess. We don't have anything to do with it. We have nothing to do with it. America is not responsible for the nonsense that you're going through. You are responsible. It is you who have refused to give your country the kind of leadership it deserves to move Liberia forward. It is some of you who have refused to see the value of growing your economy by using sensible strategies. It is you who have adopted the beggar's mentality and refused to find value in self-empowerment. Oh, yes. It is you. Everything you need people to donate to contribute to. We need funding. A leader speaks and he said, but we need money. We'll submit it to our partners for help. Oh, yes. The beggar's mentality. Save me the bullshit about natural resources and things people are taking to us. If you're so sensible, you think you have all of the natural resources, you should have been able to use that to better your country. But you're not doing it. The little money they gave you to take or to be able to do the things that you do to create development and empowerment, economic empowerment, you go ahead and you become corrupt. Look at the recent GAC General Auditing Commission report. See the amount of fraud in that report, the embezzlement in that report. People stealing millions of dollars. America gave you $6 million for a project. You go, boom, you sweep it and put it in your bank account. And you say, oh, we blame them. Come on, man. What kind of foolishness is that? What kind of foolishness is that? And we should subscribe to that doctrine. You always want to blame other people, but you don't want to take accountability. That's not brilliance. Attacking America is not brilliance, it's foolery. That's not I mean, it doesn't show anything highly of you. And especially if you don't have the facts to back what you've said. And some of you want us to jump on board of that bullshit and sit with you and talk and say all of the nonsense because you think we're stupid like you. No, I'm not stupid like you. And I'll be very courageous. The gender, I don't support people based upon gender only. I don't do that. I don't make this, I don't have empathy because gender, no. Because of ideologies. Liberians are not serious. And I will continue to expand on this conversation. This is just the beginning of it. But I will say this. This so-called woke agenda, this so-called colonial rhetorics, this doctrine of Pan-Africanism that's been actually distorted by individuals who have their whole radical views, is what's destroying Africa, destroying Liberia. Yes. And we don't have to go fight. You don't have to take my word for it. We're blaming the Congo people today. But 44 years, you've actually had, you have grasp of leadership in that country. 44 years after you killed 13 Liberians for corruption, you became one of the most corrupt groups. The recent General Auditing Commission report supports their claim. 44 years after these people took power in our country and executed 13 cabinet ministers for corruption, they became worse and even more corrupt. But yet and still they want you to believe that neocolonialism or colonial rulers are responsible for that. Just imagine. Just imagine the audacity. No remorse, no accountability. You know, Liberians don't like to be accountable. When you seek accountability, they tell you're controlling. We know this thing in political parties. You go and you try to challenge these people, push them in the right way. Who accountability? They say, oh, y'all think you get? I'm telling you, y'all think you're going to be in America directing us. They don't like accountability. And the moment you start with accountability, they're about to spin the message and call you all the names in the book. This is what's going. That speech was just not something that came out of the ordinary. She was paid to do it. She was used to attack America by the same people who do not want to be held accountable. It was not because you thought that Liberians are a need or shift from whatever the bullshit that you think, excuse my expression. It is because there are people who use her as a weapon to convey the message. That message was based upon hate. If there's any country that's done more for Liberia, it would be the United States of America. And yet, that relationship may have had its own challenges, but at the end of the day, they have been the most consistent partner that we've had. So to think that you can be critical and be nasty at the United States, but then dine with the same stupid people who have been using monies given by the United States for the betterment of their country, you're joking. You're not serious. You're not serious. You're not serious. On Wednesday, I will be back on you to talk about this issue and expand the conversation again. But today is just a little bit. I just wanted to just talk a little bit about this. And hopefully we'll go a little further. Look, we're not stupid people. I know what it is to be able to fight for equality in our community. I know. I've been part of that process in different ways. I'm not stupid enough to say that I don't know the challenges that we faced. Yeah, we know. There are still issues of Jim Crow that we have to navigate today. But at the end of the day, though, do we continue to buy into the same divisiveness and use it as a solution for it? No. Can we be better? Yes, we can be better. Do we have options to be better? Yes. Are there strategies? Yes. No, let me tell you so. Think about it. There was a point in time there were not a lot of black wealthy people, but a lot of African Americans started understanding things and they started managing the wealth. They started expanding the wealth. That community now is growing, and you will see some of the people and the way in which they talked before. If you notice now, their thought process changed. They don't push those kind of nasty rhetorics anymore. They were thinking different about tackling those challenges, but in a more refined way. In a more refined way. In a more refined way. Pay attention. They're doing it. They'll focus on the economics. Look at Ghana. Look what Ghana's doing. Look what Ghana, Liberia should be benefiting from what Ghana is actually benefiting from now. Ghana have actually mastered the art of diplomatic advocacy and partnerships. They've understood. And mind you, Kwame Nkrumah was one of the face of Pan-Africanism. Oh, yes. Look at Ghana. Ghana says, we have to do things different. And they understand that to be able to be a viable nation, you've got to look at the economics of things. And sometimes you got to focus more on partnerships. You got to focus on using logic as opposed to vicious, nasty rhetorics. Look at Rwanda. Look at Rwanda. Pay attention to Rwanda. Rwanda is not pushing the diaspora folks away. Majority of the folks from the diaspora, they are leading the search in Rwanda. You think those diaspora guys are coming and talking all kind of foul shit against the West? No, they're not doing that. They're very cautious about the approach because they understand that the next step that Africa needs to take, it has to be different than the nasty, vicious, Pan-African doctrine, neo-colonialism bullshit that has only sowed a seed of discord, and it has not gained any traction, but create this safety net for people who think that shifting blame should be the alternative for Africa. My people, you get it. This is not the way forward. There's a more calculated, more refined approach to tackle these issues. Is this not true? The nasty, foul, ineffective rhetorics of Pan-African and all of the necessary BS. There has to be a better way to engage in these things. And until we understand that, until we understand the essence of tackling these issues, not from an emotional standpoint, from a strategic and educative standpoint, we will continue to sit here 10 years later and blame other people while our country continues to regress. America is not the person to be attacking. That's not the solution. The solution is going back to the drawing board and looking at our own house and cleaning things and giving leadership to people who can really pick up the reins and be creative in a way to solve some of these problems. You see, when I see people like, America is the only partner that other countries does not, like, bro, does not have the leverage. Just stop it. For you to negotiate, you need to negotiate from a position of strength. Why, my people? You have not built equity. You have not created value. But you want to act like you have this control. And don't tell me about natural resources. Cut that bullshit out. Excuse me. You have not created value. That country has got a long way to go. And you'll stop running around here with this PhD bullshit, that, the rest of it. There's so many brilliant Liberians. There's so many Liberians who are doing extraordinary things. Some of you just look for the next train that you can hop on and go through around here and stuff. Everybody's doing well. Kudos to every Liberian who's doing well. Some of them don't talk it. Some people don't come and run their mouths and talk it and shit. But you're kind of Liberian people, you're always let a photo space. Oh, they're pressing at this, they this, that, for nothing, big show. Who give a shit? Who gives a damn? You're trying to create. That's why, look, you got all these so-called brilliant people that you're claiming, but at the end of the day, the country is not going damn where. You're still failing. Critical thinking skills, they don't have it. They can't even move the needle in terms of solutions, but you said they're smart. What kind of smart person doesn't know how to create equity in the country? And your team was stupid. You have all the so-called brilliant people here. At the end of the day, you're getting slammed on deals. How can you have educated people that are negotiating deals that are not in the interest of the country? That don't even know how to read mining concession deals? All of the BS and stuff. Pray tell me what type of education that you have. You can't even you can't even show via the productivity spectrum. These are the conversations that we should be having, talking about. These are the things that we're supposed to be tackling. All of the things that we should be tackling. You hear me? And not the unnecessary BS. And you're getting invested like, oh, and this, that, the rest of it. It's like, you think I care? Nobody cares. And I saw people like, oh, you get measured up. Who are you to tell somebody they can measure or something? How do you look? You see, this is the thing here. You on Facebook, you don't know people. Just because you sit on Facebook and talk and y'all use this empty title, you don't know what people are doing in the personal lives, but you assume some of the rooms people walk into, you wouldn't walk in there. But y'all sit your dumb asses all day and y'all run your damn mouths about things y'all know nothing about. Because people are critical. Who told you that you're not supposed to challenge things? Who told you that you're not supposed to challenge things? You're supposed to challenge things. You're supposed to challenge things. That's how you evolve. That's how we get better. You don't take people's words for granted. So you push them. That's why Liberia is going nowhere, because we have not created this environment that embraces competition. And we see competition as something else. People who think to be educated feel insecure. They think that it should be all about them. And so they sit in the room, they don't compete with other people. I see that in political parties. I saw that with the nonsense in the ANC. You sit down in a room, you see somebody talking about policies that shouldn't even be talking about that shit. You haven't worked in this country in any field of finance or whatever it is for 20, 30 plus years. But you think that you want to be able to discuss policies with people who have better, consistent experience than you. This is the bullshit that's going on all around the community. The people who should be talking are not talking. They're being overshadowed by individuals who have no business in talking. And you think that before that doctoral degree, they sort of be talking, so what? What's your area of specialty? You don't have any background in foreign policy. Nothing. Who are you to lecture people about foreign policy? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Can't wake up from Monrovia one day and leave Monrovia 2-3 years ago and go into developed country. You've been living in a dysfunctional society all your life, and then suddenly you think that you understand the cause of emancipation, equality, equality, and all that bullshit and stuff that is spoon-fed hit. That's what you're doing, transfer aggression. You know, and you don't see nothing around. So we'll continue to be vocal. I will be vocal. I will be vocal. I don't hold back for anything. I really don't. So we'll continue to expand on this. I will continue to expand on it. But I just want to quickly cover a few things here, because at the end of the day, we need to stop. We need to grow up. And we need to understand that it's okay to be critical. Yes, people will say shit. You don't impose on anybody. Everybody's got a right to talk. And we're talking about something that we believe is important right now. If you don't like it, that's your business. But we'll still continue to talk. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about all of us. And that's how it's going to be. You have a good evening, people. We'll connect again. We'll talk. We keep talking about these things. Because at the end of the day, Liberia deserves better than all of the nonsense that we've seen. We can do better, and we must do better. And I know all of you know it.
So run around and call me sexist. See all the nonsense. Me, I'm not here about every. I have heard so many things that people said. Oh, he arrogant. He did that. The rest of he did that. They not say so much shit on me. At one point in time, I was living. Apparently, they said that I sit down with people and talk. I was living in my mom's basement. I've heard a lot of shit about myself, to tell you the truth. And I look at it and laugh. I said, "Well, my life is not open, but we want to invite you to my house. Come sit down, eat, drink, and stuff, and leave." I mean, I've heard a lot of bullshit. So many stupid things and stuff. I'm an educated man, very educated man. Not only just a classroom educated man, I'm a career man, young man too. And I take in pride in that. And I happen to be from a family of scholars, brilliant minds. That's my gift. Yes, that's my gift. My grandmother was a school teacher. My father, uncle, the then scholars, professors, highly educated from Western universities, solid backgrounds. They've been, noble characters, brilliant in their own ways and stuff. This has been history. You know, I got a young man, a brother who's a scholar. You know, we all are. So I don't need people lecturing any other person. Y'all get carried away by these shit and stuff. Then I tell people, it's not blow my way. I had an opportunity of growing up and seeing real scholars every day of my life. I started reading the National Geographic newspaper at a young age. The Inquirer newspaper. I remember my dad used to make sure you bring the Inquirer newspaper to read all the time. National Geographic magazine. I used to do this thing called Unshackle. Unshackle used to be the thing that I listened to a lot, just a sports different thing. And so we created an environment for that. Yeah, there was things along the way. It doesn't matter. But the point here is that everybody's gifted in their own ways. Everybody's got the gift. I'm a Leo. Everybody's gifted. Everybody's skilled to think. I think and process things in a different way. Critical thinking, right? Critical thinking is very important for what I do, because if I'm not thinking critically, in my own professional work, then it creates problem for other people, and that problem can cause some major issues, right? And so that's what we have to do. So I value the essence of critical thinking. That's why people like me don't follow. I always see things from a different angle. Some of you may not get it's okay, but I don't follow people. I don't care. You won't get me to follow nobody. But I always see the shit that I want to see, because I owe nobody damn explanation. I don't care. Nobody, my eating bowl is not in anybody's house. I'm not bragging and stuff, but I'm okay. That's what I talk the way that I talk. So confident in my abilities to hold my own any day, any place, anywhere. And I can be anything any day. I match up the conversation as I see fit. If I need to adjust, I will adjust it. I'm good. I don't need to rehearse or anything. I do that because of the comfort, the level of confidence that I have in myself. And this year, there are Liberians doing good things all over the globe. The smart Liberians that you don't even know around here that are selling. We're not going to think that the standard is somebody who will come on a stage and make a reckless statement. No, that's not what we define that, Liberia, or whatever it is, black girl magic or Liberia excellence and that bullshit. Stop that nonsense. Nah. I mean, I'm not sure what kind of value some of you have, though, but we're different people. That's why you would not catch me in Liberia chasing jobs from nobody. Absolutely nobody. Many of you are angry because you've been in government roles and stuff and what have you. And so you're something. That's why I say I speak freely, because nothing that I am is based upon anything. My education was not paid for by the government of Liberia. Some of you went and got scholarship and came to Western. Imagine this shit here. The same West you're criticized gave your scholarship. You came to Western University. We had to raise family, stayed in libraries in the middle of the night, open books to study, and still work 8 hours a day, staying productive. Come on, man. working to go pay school fees on our own and stuff, to match up balance or whatever scholarship we are, whatever it is, and this, that, the rest of it. But I'm saying this to say is that, there are things that we've done. Some of you will never understand. And you want to talk about colonial rulers? How dare you speak about colonial rulers when the same rulers are funding your damn education? You're being educated by the same people free of charge. You don't know what it is to wake up in the morning and earn a wage while going to school and raising family and stuff. You don't know shit about it. You're a recipient of aid. You get help spoon fed, but you want to lecture us. You want to lecture us. You don't know what the typical black man goes through, especially when everything you've been has been handed out to you by politicians and dirty politicians in Liberia. Your education was paid by dirty politicians. Money is given to you by these dirty politicians and stuff who use it to attack other people, and you want to compare yourself. You'll never compare yourself to people like us. Don't try that nonsense. Some of you sat down and got free scholarship from the government of Liberia. Your family members gave you free ride to universities here. Some of you, your mortgages were paid in this country based upon monies that you earned in Liberia, and you want to tell us, you will lecture people like us? No. Take lessons from people like us. We did it with our handouts, without exploiting the Liberian people. We excelled in our own capacities, not expecting favor from nobody. No government official had to call the United Nations to push us into role. Nobody in government had to find connections for us to go into corporate America. Some of you